So g'day all, just doing a preview of the big one up in Sydney, the $15 million Everest, which is on tomorrow at Royal Randwick. I've got Mark Rhoden on the line. How you going, Mark?
Yeah, very well, Mark. Very well.
Yes, we're finally here. The I think one highlight of the Everest is with all the goings on in the slots, you get a very big lead up to it in terms of media coverage. So the race is finally here, which is good. I guess might just start with the track. How do you, from what you've heard, how's it looking, and can we expect anything out of the ordinary?
It's good for at the moment. There's a few showers possibly forecast, but I don't think it'll have much effect. Tracks have been really firm in Sydney lately, which has been good.
Yep.
True position, northeasterly wind, which might make it hard to lead and might make it hard to be on fence in the run, especially out of the chute, actually, which applies here. Okay. So I wouldn't be scared of runners on Saturday at all.
No worries. Well, yeah, on that, we might just have a look at the map and get your thoughts on, will there be a lot of speed, do you think?
I think there will. I've got the emergencies in this too, which don't really come into play for the on-speed. I think, Nature Strip has to lead. It's going to, and he'll be going at a good clip. It's just whether he's relaxed or not. His two runs so far this time, the way he's finished off suggests he's been over racing. He hasn't been doing it within himself. And when he pulls out one of those through the roof performances like he did in the Darley a couple of years ago, and he did in the TJ in the autumn, he just gets in front and he's just feeling great. And he runs fast early and he runs fast late. So that's always the decision you've got to make with Nature Strip. I don't think the wind's going to do him any favours, but if he's at his absolute best, he's good enough to overcome it. But from a map point of view, whether he gets to the home turn and busts up again or whether he goes on with it, he's still going to be going along at a good speed out in front. So that should give the others their chance too.
Okay, no worries. Sounds good. Anything caught wide or any dramas, or you're pretty happy across the board in terms of those running on?
Look, I don't think it'll matter. Out of the chute, it's virtually one turn, and if horses are 3 and 4 wide, they're going to be protected from the wind hitting them from the side. So any extra ground they cover is probably counterbalanced by the cover they're getting.
Okay, no worries. Sounds good. All right, we might run through them, starting at the top with number 1, Nature Strip, $4.80 at the moment with TopSport. Which Nature Strip's going to rock up? If you could tell us that'd be good to know.
Yeah, God knows. Easy question to start with there. I've got my famous $3 theory, which I just had a look at last night. It's probably more like a $3.30 now. He's having a couple of bad ones and just starting to skew those figures slightly. Regardless, he's bigger than that. So if I was following that line, I'd back him. I think at $5, I'd probably save on him. I've got him marked about $6. But if he won without me after all the noise I've made about the $3 theory, I'd probably have to retire or something. I think that would be it for me. It's just it's not a coin flip. It's not 50-50. It's which one turns up.
Basically, I mean, as I said, if he shows up at his best, he'll win.
Yeah, look, I mean, put it in ratings terms, he's got a top of 124. Probably the next best any horse in this race has run is 118. So that his best is 3 lengths better than any other horse's best. Mm-hmm. Now, that was down the straight, and he's not going to get those conditions, and he probably isn't in the same form. So I'm not expecting him to win by 3 lengths, but that's what could happen if everything fell into place for him.
Yeah.
So that's what. Yeah, that's the thing with Nature Strip. He has the capacity to run some ratings that the others just can't match if he's on his game.
Okay.
Which is why he's always he was $1.40 and got beaten first up. He was an easing $2.30 favourite, I think, last time, got beaten. So with the CV he's always in the market. Now today's the forgotten horse a bit, out to equal favourite at best, and in the past that's been the kind of occasion he's bobbed up on. So
and for those who haven't heard, basically your $3 theory is that he puts in the performance he basically needs to once in every 3 runs. So if you can get $3, that's the place to bet.
yeah, that's it's back at the envelope sort of stuff, but that's about the strength of it. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Number 2 is Trekking for Godolphin. $11 with TopSport at the moment.
Yeah, I've got him a little bit longer than that. He ran third in this last year. Did nothing wrong in his prep run in the Moya Stakes at Moonee Valley first up. Ran on quite well to run second to Pippi. Speed will suit him. He'd need a lot to go. Well, he'd need a lot to go right, and he'd need others to fall short of their best to win, I think. But you could run a place without surprising again if he went to his best.
No worries. Number 3 is Classique Legend, $4.80 at the moment with TopSport.
Yeah, equal favourite with the enigmatic nature strip. He's the rock solid runner in the race.
Yep.
His best isn't as good as nature strips, but he's far more consistent. So that's just one of those things you've got to balance up. I don't know if I want to back him because I think there's a few other horses in the race, not just nature strip, who do have a performance level in them that is better than Classique Legend's best, but you do know what you're going to get with this horse. He's rated just okay in 2 runs this prep, but even in his first up win, he wasn't really suited, but won anyway. Then he was caught 3 wide last start and fought on well for second behind Libertini. So I'm sure he can run to a better figure tomorrow, but whether that's going to be good enough to win remains to be seen. But he will give you a great sight. That's almost certain.
No worries. Number 4, Old Mate Santa and Elaine, $26 with TopSport.
Yeah, he's a couple of times. He's put in some of the biggest sprinting performances of the post-Black Caviar era over his career. He's been an incredible horse, gone from a Wagatown plate winner to TJs and Stradbrokes and all sorts of things. A marvel, but I think he might be over the top now.
Fair enough. Number 5 is Behemoth in pretty good form over slightly longer at the moment. $9.50 with TopSport.
Absolutely flying, this horse. Sort of horse I'd love to save on if he was about 20 to 1, but they're keeping him pretty safe at 9.50, I think.
Yep.
He comes off 2 Caulfield 1,400 metre wins. He also has to perform 3 times in a row at what looks like his absolute top. And they wouldn't have had the luxury of gearing his whole preparation around this race either, because he would not have been certain of getting a slot. So they've really they picked up a couple of Group 1s along the way, and not that this is an afterthought, but I don't think he would be as trained to the minute for it as a few other horses in the race. That said, Natural Rillaron in the form he's in, I'm not saying he can't win by any means, but and as I said, if it was $16, $20, I wouldn't mind saving on him, but at $9.50 he looks about right for me.
Okay, no worries. Number 6 is the second Godolphin runner, Bivouac, $13 at the moment with TopSport.
Yeah, interesting runner. He's one of the horses I was referring to when I said that there are a few in the race that have a level that could probably beat the likes of Classique Legend if they reduced it, and he's one of them. His best ever run was down the straight, which is always a negative because, the straight's a very different beast to most other sprint courses.
Yep.
However, it was an incredible run when he won the Newmarket last year.
Yep.
If he goes to that level, he can win. He was unsuited first up and has trialled well since. I think he's got a chance. Bossy won this race last year. Might have been just about the last winner he rode, I think. That's not true. He's on a long run of outs, but...
likes a big race, Bossy.
Loves a big race, and he was second in the Epsom a couple of weeks ago on Fun Star. He certainly sets himself for these races. So I won't be marking him too negatively for having G-Boss on. Another one I wouldn't mind saving on, but I think 13's about right. But the bulk of his form isn't good enough, but if he pulls out that through-the-roof run, yes, he can win.
No worries. Number 7 is Gytrash, $6.50 with TopSport.
Yeah, he's actually top pick in my market at the moment, and I'll be on him.
Good.
The knock on him, I suppose, is 1,200 metres. His only 1,200 metre win was down the straight, and he's been beaten a few times at 1,200. But I think the key to this horse might be the freshen up he's had. He really does fly fresh. on his racing style, it doesn't look like 1200 to be a problem. It just statistically it has been. Like he got beaten in the Goodwood, very much end of prep in the autumn by I think it was actually, but that was his last run for the prep. He'd had a pretty taxing campaign too. So he turns up here 6 weeks off absolutely dominating nature strip in the Concord. I think it was over 1,000 metres first up.
Yeah.
So I think at 650, I think that's a good enough price to take the risk on the distance. And this clearly is another one of those horses who I think has a level, a top level that is better than Classique Legend. So that's my reasoning. Yes, the 1,200 might be a worry, but I think he'll be primed, 42 days off, and if he produces that, barring a nature strip through the roof run, he's the one to beat.
Good stuff. Number 8's Eduardo, $26 with TopSport.
Now, 1,200 is going to worry this one in this class. He'll be up on the speed, but be very surprised if he could hang on even for a place.
No worries. Number 9's the Outsider, dollar for dollar, $67.
Yeah, looked home against Behemoth in the Rupert Clark last start. The Rupert Clark. Back in trip here, last horse into the field. Yeah, it should be 101 at least.
No worries. Number 10 is Tofane, $21.
Now, this is the one I definitely will be having something on at bigger odds. She was a short price favourite down the straight at Flemington last start. Never got a look at them. Never got the chance to let down at all. Secured a slot for this pretty early, so they've been able to tailor the preparation towards it.
Yep.
Her best ever run was at this track, admittedly at 1,400 in the all-age, but I think if the track plays the way I think it will, 11 won't be a problem, and she may even be really well suited here. She is in the race and probably shouldn't be 20 to 1 in my opinion.
No worries. 11 is the mare Libertini, $8.50 at the moment, TopSport.
Yeah, outstanding win first up, which gives her a chance. There's been a lot of, all the talk was that, she's got improvement to come and so on and so forth. But the fact is she hadn't secured a slot there. She needed to be pretty well wound up to secure a spot in this race first up, and she's gone to her very best. Now, if she repeats that, she can run well again. She has, in her past, been a bit flat second up off big first up performances. She fell in second up at a very short price against Phillies 2 preps ago. And if she is taking any sort of backward step here, she won't be winning. So I'm prepared to say, even if physically it looked like she had improvement to come, I think that she went to her ceiling first up, and that's got to take some sort of physical toll. And I would think it's more likely that she goes backwards than forwards. Therefore, I'm prepared to risk it.
No worries. And the 12 at the bottom is Haut Brion Her, the other Waller runner, $31 with TopSport.
Yeah, really tough win against mares first up. Took her out to 1,400 last start, and she was first beaten. Another weight addition to this field, and I can't have her at all. I think 31 is too short, to be honest. So, yeah, no for me.
No worries. All right. So, if I'm hearing you properly, Classique Legends, perhaps the reliable one, but there's a whole lot of others that, if they produce their best, are in with a good show.
Yeah, I can see why Classique Legends equal favourite, because he is so reliable. But I'll be betting around him. I think Gytrash is virtually my top pick in value. Tofane is great value, and make up your own mind with Nature Strip.
Good stuff. Are you going to have something on Nature Strip?
Probably for mental health reasons.
Good stuff. All right. Sounds like a decent race anyway. So
it's not the best race I've ever seen, but it's there's angles everywhere. It's certainly.
I think early on a lot of people were thinking sort of Nature Strip how far, but seems with him being off the boil a bit his last couple of runs, seems like quite an interesting race.
Sure does. Yeah, I mean he trialled sensationally before his first run this time in, and it just looked like, well, everything's ticking over perfectly, and he's going to be rating up near his best and they won't beat him. But I mean, particularly last start, the thing that worries me is that's his worst run since he ran down the track in the Oakley Plate as a short price favourite 2 or 3 preps ago. So he did bounce back and win after that, but it wasn't a high rating win. It was a pretty ordinary win by his standards. So, and he's getting on. He might be gone. That's the other thing we've got to put into the equation here with Nature Strip. But Jesus, he's certainly a talking point, isn't he?
Very interesting. But thanks for that. Him aside, it sounds like there's, as you said, Gytrash, your top rater, and a bit of value and a bit of value wider as well. So it sounds like a decent bet and race. Yep,
I think so.
Good stuff. All right, thanks for that, Mark. Members will get your stuff tomorrow morning. So good luck for tomorrow at Randwick.
Thank you very much, Mark. Looking forward to it.
Cheers.